On your show, you do a trivia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 10 questions, and I forget what's the length of time they have to answer
60
the question.
seconds.
60 seconds, 10 questions. If they get all of them right, they win what, $1,000, or they used to at least. Well, how many people actually have won?
Either 3 or 4.
In the course of how long were you doing it?
Over about 2.5 years.
Okay, so you know that I've always tried to play along when I'm on the show, and I fail. I don't want to say miserably, but some people might describe it as me failing miserably. And you start off easy, and then you sort of, go into the harder questions. Now, I don't have 10 questions for you.
Okay.
But with so much talk about Trump, it made me think about George W. Bush. Okay. Because when Trump was in office, people were romanticizing GW. When GW was in office,
right, he was Hitler.
They loathed him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just like a rock star all of a sudden. This is your wheelhouse. So I want to see how much you know about George W. Bush. And I'll start off easy. Okay.
Gotcha. And is there a prize? Do I get a prize?
You get a drink.
All right. Okay.
But you have to have the drink with me.
Even
better.
I'll
pay for the drink.
Okay. Got it.
And we're going to bring back Frank and Stein now that I have the Reactivist.
Got it.
We couldn't get that together for today, but we're going to do that. So the easy question, first question, what does the W stand for?
Walker.
Correct. Ding, ding. In 2000, during the election, how long did the recount last?
36 days.
36 days. Look at you. Okay. What state was President Bush reading a story to elementary school kids when he heard about the Twin Towers being attacked?
Florida, My Pet Goat.
My Pet Goat. You know the book. You don't get bonus points.
Okay. All right. Fine.
I didn't account for bonus points.
Okay. Fair enough.
Do you know the name of do you know the name of the elementary school?
I don't. No.
Oh, I should have put that on here. I was about to put that on here, and I didn't.
See, if I was incentivized with a few bonus points, maybe I would, but no, now I can't.
Okay, bombs over Baghdad, right? Very early on in that conflict, George Bush landed on a vessel, and he proclaimed mission accomplished. Can you tell me the name of the vessel?
I am drawing a blank here. This was one of the things that I fear I might have forgotten. I don't. I'm going to get. I don't know it. I'm going to say the Enterprise.
Oh, this is heaven. It was the USS Abraham Lincoln.
See, as soon as you said it, it came back to me. I did not know that. Did not remember it.
But I'm going to ask you a few more questions. Although there were some other Bush questions in there, I was hoping you would get to them.
Well, let me hear the other Bushes.
Fine. He appointed 2 Supreme Court justices during his presidency. Do you know who they are?
Roberts and Alito.
Correct. Now, I'll give you this as a bonus.
Okay.
When Alito, now you know Roberts had to replace Rehnquist, and then there was an opening because Sandra Day O'Connor was leaving, right? So then Alito came along, but before Alito, he nominated a female. Do you know her name?
Harriet Myers.
Oh, you're the worst. I mean, you're great.
Okay. And now I'm disappointed I didn't get Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. And then just one sort of like general question as an American, and then we're going to move on to another line of questioning. What American doctrine opens with, when in the course of human events?
The Declaration of Independence.
There you go. All right, good. All right. So you passed with flying-ish colors.
Flying, but not onto an aircraft carrier colors. Okay.
So, on your show, you always do Ask Frank Anything.
Right.
And I feel like I never ask you anything ever, whether I'm there or not. I never give you a question. So now I have an inside the actor studio style line of questioning for you.
Okay.
If you had to describe your personality with just one word, what would that word be?
I would say eccentric.
Okay. If you were to write an autobiography, what would the title be? I'm sort of surprised you haven't thought of this.
I have thought about it. I'm just trying to narrow it down.
You have several.
Yeah. I'm going to say Memoirs of a Martian Madman, the mostly true stories of talking with the greats the near greats, the ingrates, the has-beens, and the never-weres.
Can that fit on a book cover?
I don't know, but it's worth it. It would be, Memoirs of a Martian Madman, the mostly true stories of interactions with the greats, near greats, ingrates, has-beens, and never-weres. That would be in smaller print. How do you not buy a book with that title? Who even cares what it says? You got to just buy it. It's a great title.
Well, since we've been doing radio together for the better part of 11 years, which category am I? Am I the great, the near great? Am I an ingrate? Or I don't even know what else you said.
The has-beens and the never-weres. In my book, you're one of the great ones. You know what a fan I am of yours and always have been. So in my book, you're one of the great ones, but I'll leave that to the audience to decide.
but not your Facebook audience.
Hey, they're rough on me. You got to see the things they say about me. No one's safe from that group. They're a very, very rough group. By the way, if people want to know what we're talking about, you can join our Facebook group. Just go on Facebook and search Morano Radio Fans and Haters. But it's not for the faint of heart. You need a strong stomach for that Facebook group.
You also need a day because there's a lot of people with a lot of time on their hands.
That's true.
So, and possibly an Urban Dictionary. Okay. If you could scream one phrase at the top of your lungs, what would that phrase be?
In general or at this very moment?
In general.
Scream one.
You have to pick one phrase that you could scream into a megaphone.
Oh, I'd have to say the phrase that I ebulliently utter every hour, good morrow.
Oh, well, you kind of already screamed that.
I know, but I would scream it louder.
How much would it take for you, Frank, to dress in drag and do a drag queen story hour? How much would you have to be paid? And then my second question or my follow-up to that is, what would your drag name be?
So I think I would need to be paid around $3,500.
Okay, you'll explain that in a second.
Is that more or less than you expected?
Less, and it's a random amount of money. Do you have to pay off a bill right now that's $3,500? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, I have several, but no, I think that's a reasonable amount of money that I could see you being willing to pay. But it also makes it worth my time and whatever embarrassment that I would experience. That I could deal with $3,500 worth of time and embarrassment. I think that my drag queen name would be Frankie. Frankie is, I think, an appropriately androgynous name. There's a lot of great female Frankies over there, and I think it's a nice homage to my actual identity as a male. So I would go with simply Frankie. Okay.
Well, there you go. I'll tell you right now, though, if I ever win trivia on your show, I get to dress you in drag, head to toe.
You're on.
So this is interesting. This is more of a conversational question. Okay. I did the story I don't even know, maybe a month ago about in Illinois how there were guidelines in the state of Illinois. There are guidelines for burying your loved one on your property. Okay, and I was kind of stuck. I couldn't get past sort of that concept, right? I don't even want to know what the guidelines are. I'm assuming it has to do with property lines and depth and the size of your property and everything else. My question was two things. Would you want to bury a loved one on your property if you were able to? The caveat being, now you have to suspend whatever you believe or don't believe. Okay. If ghosts are real, and you could be visited by this loved one, would that be a reason not to bury the loved one? Or would it be the reason to bury the loved one?
Under your scenario, does burial on the property increase the likelihood of a haunting?
No, if it guarantees, we're saying it guarantees a haunting from the loved one.
Okay, gotcha. So if if my mom, God forbid, is buried here, then I'm seeing my mom in ghost form regularly.
Ghost form, whatever that looks like.
Gotcha. All right. So let me begin with the first part of that question. One of the things that I think is interesting is New York, and I don't think New Jersey is here yet, but New York recently legalized human composting. So they will allow you to turn your human remains into compost. So I was talking with my wife recently about this, and she's indicated that she would like to donate everything that can possibly be donated, eyes, skin, every organ that can be, and then what's left be turned into compost and then made into a tree that we would plant in the backyard. And then if I end up moving someplace, that we would transport that tree. Although most odds makers have me predeceasing her in most actuarial tables.
Quite possibly at the hands of her, but go ahead.
Exactly. But so as far as burial goes, I would say yes, I would like to bury a loved one on our property, even though we don't have that large of a backyard. So I think it would take up some of the prime backyard real estate, but I think it would be nice. I really don't visit cemeteries often. I'm always saying it's something that I want to do a little bit more of, but I just never seem to do it. And I think at the very least that seeing that person's headstone or whatever arrangement you've made in your house, it causes you to make sure you think about that person and hopefully on a lot of nice memories that you have.
So and a framed photo wouldn't do the trick.
What? A what photo?
A framed photo of the person wouldn't do the trick.
I guess it would. I guess it would. It's true. But what
happens when you move, Frank? Do you then have to dig up this body and transport?
That's why Rachel's idea about the tree, which Shatner told me he wants to do as well. He wants to be a tree. So their idea about the tree is such a good one because you can move the tree. It's tough to dig up a body and move it to another house. I don't know how you explain that to the people that are buying your house. But as far as the haunting goes, as long as the person that I'm being haunted by doesn't suddenly become malevolent, like a Pet Cemetery style, as long as they remain the similar personality that they were when they were alive, I would not just be okay with, but welcome any haunting. For instance, I'd love to see a dead Marlaina,
I think a lot of people feel that way sometimes. All right. Well, that just about does it. Thanks for being here, Frank.
Thank you for having me, Marlaina. If anybody wants to check out the podcast, they can go to fmwabc.com, and you can often hear the musings, the wit and wisdom of Marlaina Schiavo. It's great to be here on The Reactivist. I am a big fan, and I hope you'll have me back.
I definitely will. And just so I heard you correctly, I'm one of the greats. So are you saying so does that mean you put me in the same category as your idol, best friend, and possibly secret lover, William Shatner?
Absolutely not. Shatner is sui generis. This is a book that was written by Shatner in, I believe, this is 1979 or 1980. And this man has lived 5 lifetimes worth of adventures since then. It's a very rare book, by the way. It's called Shatner, Where No Man, the authorized biography of William Shatner. No one's in Shatner's category, unfortunately. Not even you. I mean, this is that's look at this. This is a man who has the kind of stories that I couldn't even begin to make up.
Well, you've broken my heart, Frank, but somehow I think I will live on.
And live long and prosper, I have no doubt.
Live on, I said.
And live long.
All right, Frank. Well, thanks for being here. This was fun. And
I
will definitely have you back.
I'll see you on the radio.
Election season heats up.
Wonderful.
And I guess I'll
look forward to it.
See you on the other side of midnight.
I'll look forward to that. Take care.